Hello my parish, hello YouTube, this is Brother Dominique. Only 7 years ago the Gregorian chorals were in the charts everywhere in the world. It reminded me my youth while I was only a little monkey and practiced this singing in a choir. I loved it very much, but I never thought that these chorals might have something erotic. Just one day, my very good friend Sister Elizabeth told me that she has listened to a Gregorian chant and, as a woman, she felt that it does something different to her. She meant that it has excited her in an erotic way. She felt a heat coming over all her body. Well, I'm sure you also felt sometimes a music or even a simple sound giving you such a good feeling. This made me so curious that I wanted, with the help of Sister Elizabeth, to know more about the erotic in religion. Religion means a backbone, means being united with the beginning. All religions agree that this beginning is our home, and we are only on the way back to this home. In the religious sense, life is only a homeward journey on earth. Sexuality is always and again an important theme on this journey, and therefore religion takes an important influence on this part of our life and warn us from too careless handling of our sexuality. But why that? What is the reason? This is not primarily an abstract theological question, but this question preoccupies billions of people of every religion. It influences their thinking, their feeling, their behavior, and shapes their everyday life. The Catholic priest celibate is a very hard and strict condition for the privilege to hold the God in the hands. In the context of the Catholic faith, the consecrated wafer is the incarnated God, the flesh of God. Not a symbol or a bogus or an illusion. No. It's the personified God. This has never been changed. It's fascinating. If you want to be admitted as man to join the inner circle of the sanctuary, and as well the inner circle of the social power structure, then you have to pay for it. Pay with your virginity. Therefore, fortunately, we Catholic have the confession. If you have broken one of the multiple rules, if you have been a little piggy, you have to confess to be clean again to do your consecration. For me personally, well, I will reveal now my history of carnal lust. From my window in the presbytery, where at some afternoons a forbidden secret love overheated, my view went to the window of the church, where God was always present. My thought that my anointed fingers, who now were playing with the body of my mistress, are going to touch during the next Holy Mass the living God disturbed me very much. The flesh of God was made of wheat flour and water, without animal ingredients. The body of God is kosher, me not. I was someone who suffered like a dog from this situation. As a man, this was a problem for me. In every man, I mean masculine, man-made religion, Hindus, Buddhists, Jews, Christian, Islam, yes, they are made from man. This is always a masculine history. I don't know one of them who's not impregnated by a strong fear towards women. Therefore, all this religion are plenty of ceremonies and reasons to keep women far from the admittance and the sanctuary. Sometimes there are some family encodings like with the Jews and the Muslim. I mean, the men and religious functionary, they don't in principle forbid to have a wife and to raise children. But before he goes to the celebration, to the sacrifice, 3 days, nothing, nada, nisto, nix, rien. Those are very old taboos. There is no religion in where it's allowed to the masculine sexuality to be in any kind of connections to the divine. Maybe if we look at the very old mythologies, we can find the reason for that. The gods' lust of human females and the jealousy of the men toward these gods might be a big reason. I know only one exception, and that is Tantra. So far it remains a religion today. I asked a Muslima. Her name is Fatima, but previously known as Katie Smith. What is her view on religion and erotic? She said she would not give the sexual union this high importance, but it's described in the Quran as a little anticipation on earth to the coming paradise. But it will never have the same value as the prayer has. Her clothing and her behave, and in general the clothing and the behave of her Muslim sisters, has liberated her from many things who before were very vexing to her. Before, she said she could not have a comrade-like intercourse with men. Often men misunderstood her behave, and she was often disappointed by men's reaction. Now, since she wears her amour dress with scarf, she don't has any more these problems to speak to a man, if her husband allows her to do so. Her dressing relieved her from feelings she would not like have. In Islam, there is no question about celibate. There are no priests, no clergy, there are only scribes and lawyers, which can be compared with someone who has studied theology. These men are also required to be married. Marriage is something very important in Islam. A very important institution, and surely because sexuality outside marriage is an absolute forbidden, well, at least for women, in the view of Fatima, sexuality in Islam is something absolutely reserved to the marriage, and so in Islam, sexuality is a god worship. Asking now my colleague Rabbi Smurfy, You're gonna know him later on in another of my videos where I will learn from him how to circumcise baby boys. He explains me that in Judaism they would not put the sexual act in the same level than prayer, but for him it's absolutely possible that during the prayer you might have some ecstatic ups and downs which are comparable to good sex. Only in Judaism the physical needs of a man are very much respected. A religious Jewish leader has to be married. Nobody asks him to fight against the natural human needs. And in the Jewish mystics in the Kabbalah are some texts saying that you should compare a near relationship with God to a good relationship with a woman. Excitement can happen at every moment. I am sure you also had at least once a short encounter, maybe only a short moment where you looked at a person in the supermarket, on the street or somewhere else, and you were impressed. And you felt good for the rest of the day. And maybe even for a couple of days more, only in memory of this short moment. Or did you felt guilty having looked at someone with lust? In religious thinking, sexuality is a part of this side of our journey between birth and paradise. Sexuality lives in a division from I and you, from masculine and feminine, and this even in a same-sex relationship. At the same time, sexuality gives us an impression of a fusion between all elements of male and female. To be united not someday in the far future in a diffuse paradise, no. It's now and here on earth with our living bodies. The unified bodies are a part of paradise on earth. In the self-understanding from a religion, this is a danger. Sexuality is the strongest of all powers who bend us to this world. And it wants us to remain here. It holds us back from wishing to continue the way home on our journey on earth. Is this the warning that religion wants to transmit us? When first sexuality and erotic are death, the body follows very soon. Know my sheep. Look at your partner and celebrate life. Ciao.